out a literature review. Now, what is a literature review? Many people don't know really what a literature review is. Is it simply reading 10 articles? No, it's a very systematic procedure. So what do we do here? Okay. First of all, we give them examples of literature review in their own domain. Okay. Okay. Then we give them, okay, very well elaborated reviews. Then we give them a series of already well-selected articles to exemplify the literature review is based, first of all, on a very good selection of your articles, building on a selection framework. For instance, I will study all the articles of the last 10 years published in relation to journal articles that fit with the following set of keywords. Okay. So they have to carry out this, and then they have to, in fact, develop their review. And if you go again to the website, I can show it again. Okay. Whoops, there you go. Articles, the analysis framework, and at the end, how will this be evaluated? Now, this is something new. I haven't discussed yet. It's no longer a multiple choice exam. Yes, you can imagine. It's no longer even an open answer format exam. What we actually do at master's level is we actually judge the quality of the work they are doing. It's the real thing. So it's not toying around. It's not playing. The moment the students carry out these tasks, and by the way, they get feedback on preliminary versions. We organize feedback sessions, planning. You will see that. But we evaluate their actual reports. And we work here with a kind of checklist approach. Okay? And the checklist will be opened where you see dimensions that will be used to analyze, in fact, their work. We even have a level where we require the students to evaluate their own work and to hand in the evaluation together with their report. So just to be sure that they checked the quality of their work before they handed it. You know that those students, they did part 1, forgot part 2, okay, and did only part 3, 50%. Okay? It's very typical. So we in fact discovered that when you're very transparent and open as to the guidelines for evaluation, that you will not have this. And you will see that in fact, most of these activities. This is another one, a study. You see all the materials for the students, the complete procedure, okay? How do you report, structure, everything, and the evaluation checklists. And it's consistent in every study that you will see. They carry out completely protocoled, everything, Excel files again, everything, and the evaluation checklist. Okay. By the way, this helps me too. Did you ever read the work of 40 groups? Yeah? You start in the morning and you end in the evening with a glass of white wine. And then you do the check of the quality, you restart judging the quality of the first group. What happens? I need another glass of wine, mostly. Because if you don't have such a checklist, it's threatening for you. It's especially a problem for the students too. So you will see that in the presentation, because we're nearly at the end, that we also focus in fact on the evaluation. Now, often people ask me, but does it work? Does it work? I can rely in fact on a lot of research already carried out, but not of course exactly research-based learning, but on the related approach. Now, first of all, we discovered that when we adopted this approach to teaching and learning, that we got a far higher level of motivation in our students. Okay? You know these students? Yes? Or when they were in your lecture hall, like this. Yes? Go on. It's It's no longer like that. They are in the field, they are working, they are active, they are in the library, they are working in the group sessions. Okay? Now, what we see is a far higher level of motivation and a far higher level of concentration, persistence, and engagement. And this is very strongly related to performance results. So the scores of the students become higher. They meet the standards more easily, both in the knowledge domain and in relation to the research activities. And here you see a 0.48. It means that it's nearly 1/2 of a standard deviation that all the scores shift to the right. You know, to the right it means good, better performance at about 80 to 20% here the students perform better. I'm right there for you. Now the other thing is that since it's more goal-oriented learning, it's much more organized. They get a lot of worked examples. There's a lot of working together in peer tutoring that you also see there that in fact the impact is very high. There's a lot of group work there and individual work. I believe in group work, but now and then you have to have this individual accountability. And then we discover again that in fact here you have even higher, 0.56, 0.57, and here 0.55, a higher in fact impact scores. It goes further with in fact the reciprocal teaching, because the students teach a lot each other in this environment. And they do it on the basis of in fact these protocols. But this research is going on, and in fact everything we get as preliminary results is, first of all, now finally students understand what science is. For instance, what is a theory? What is a theory? Most students cannot answer that question. And for every theory you give to a student, you can give another one. No. Or another one. No. Most students think there's only one theory, and every theory is true. Okay. A higher level of motivation, and we see that we have a strong learning curve. We have a learning curve in the scientific research skills because we can build on the skills of the first year, the second year, and you go on. Because we repeat continuously the steps in the research cycle. Finally, this is steps in the research cycle. Finally, in the second year of the master program, they get full research cycle activities. And this is rather big project works. And then you get finally the individual complete research cycle when they do their master thesis. So you see the build of this. Lots of courses with steps, then big projects, full cycle, but in groups and teams, and then at master's level, the individual. Now what about evaluation? You're nearly at the end. Well, you have to shift away from the traditional evaluation approach. I still have written exams to check this. Yes, I'm not naive. Yes? It's not because you can apply it that you still have the founding knowledge. We check it. But this is only a part of the score. The majority of the score, and they cannot compensate, by the way, they have to succeed for every part of the examination, is done in a different way. Now this is here a content page of what we call an assessment handbook. This is an example from Ulster University I often use, where you see the different types of evaluations. And what you see here is that the evaluations in relation to the research are here: practical work, portfolios, peer and self-assessment, group work, presentations, okay, project reports, dissertations of course, and internships. And these are mostly related to, in fact, the research work. Okay. But all these assessment approaches, they are described here even at university level, and every professor has to, in fact, adopt the choices made by the university. And you need the variety of assessment approaches linked of the types of, in fact, assessment. Another approach that is very often used is the portfolio assessment approach. I can discuss later. Or the rulings approach, where in fact the approach is as follows. You have criteria, you have indicators of quality, and these indicators of quality are at different levels. If you type in the word rubric, in fact in Google, you will find millions of rubrics. For instance, this is a rubric for a research paper.